As those who follow the program may have noticed, two speakers were switched. I think most of you didn't notice, but we did it on purpose. Because the next on is Jokey van Deiten. And there have been many different conferences where she was expected, but because of health conditions she couldn't make it. The fact that she's here is very unique. She's not on stage. She's sitting with her two children in the corner there. But she was willing to come over from the Netherlands with her special. She would never have made it if there were not two women willing to put a lot of efforts in and almost, I will not exaggerate, almost carried her to come here. And those two women, one of them you see here, this is Marianne Meijer. And here's the second one, Vicky Cunningham. Holland, Australia, Holland. They were willing to come over and really help Jokey to come here. So that in this unique gathering of crystal skulls that are considered ancient and special, this whole collection could be seen and realized it has not been seen for many, many years. We are very fortunate to have her here. But Jokey's condition is not such that she can speak herself. So Marianne has been volunteering to do that, and I'm sure we will be getting a very unique presentation. So ladies and gentlemen, Marianne on behalf of Jokey and Vicky Cunningham.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. This is louder. Now the microphone is here. Can everybody hear me? Yes? To start, I would say this is really a miracle. It's like a fairy tale. That we three girls were able to come here and carry here that Jokey van Deiten in 20 years' time gathered together to share the wisdom and the knowledge of the ancients that was and is the message of the, you could say, the Dutch still alive, Indiana Jones, Jokey van Deiten. To be an example, yeah? A little higher. To be an example to mankind in joy, acceptance, and spreading the trust the Maya elders gave to me through insisting I take Crystal Skull ET and confirming I was the right guardian of their lost Maya skull. And we had a long way to go. That was 20 years ago. And that is about the first crystal skull she got in her possession. His name is E.T. This is E.T. When the Maya elders, and actually it was Flor de Mayo who was there at the moment, and the elders were all speaking Spanish, and Flor de Mayo translated for Jokey the Spanish into English, so everybody could understand. But Jokey immediately said, "What is? Okay, I'll give it back, guys." But they said, "No, you are the rightful guardian, and you will have a long way to go." And that also happened, because after that, with the help of this skull ET, she was slowly getting, and they were coming to her without she even realizing what was actually happening. But there came this other skull, and another skull was offered to her. And the man in the Amazon rainforest, he said, "Oh, you must take this skull." And then she later realized, of E.T. being the lead, she was gathering this family of 10 crystal skulls that you could say represent all continents, all kinds of peoples, whatever colors or whatever natural ways you live, or that is all gathered together in here. And for Yoki also, it was very important, and she discovered that because she was suffering of a major brain tumor. She discovered the healing capabilities of the skulls. And also later, when she had the whole family together, and that is also why she wants to we need to keep this family together, each other, in healing whatever needs healing, you could say. This skull, E.T., helped her heal very miraculously of this brain tumor. She was operated on it, and within 9 days, she left the hospital. The doctor said it's not possible, but she did it, and she herself said that happened because E.T. helped her with that. It also is a family story. A family story between Jokey van Deiten and her own children that live all over the world. She lives in the Netherlands, but her children live somewhere else. But they're all here now too, all together. It also has to do with our galactic family. And I myself, out of the blue, about 15 years ago, started drawing hearts like a little child would do. And I did it for my father, who was having a problem with his heart at that time. I thought I wanted to give him something, so I drew a heart, new heart for him. And I have this series of talking hearts, and one of these hearts is the heart over there, the brown heart, and I call it wisdom. But everybody who sees it says, hey, that's an alien. Yeah, that is for sure, because that is our galactic family. And yeah, you could say they are extraterrestrial, because we all come from somewhere else. We are here now, but we come from the whole galaxy. Another mixture in E.T. is, and with his 3 girls, is that he has a very strong connection with lightning. And E.T. told Yoki his whole story. It was written down in a very beautiful booklet, with also beautiful photographs in little stories on more of the other skulls. And it is there on her table. You can actually buy it. And he told her that in ancient times when he was used, he was being charged before every ritual and ceremony in storms. And then the shamans were hoping that as much as possible lightning would be coming. And the lightning was good for him. There are negative ions. And I live in the countryside myself since 13 years in Hungary, not in Holland anymore. And I'm a little bit like a farmer girl there. And from my farmer neighbors, they told me, I never had heard about that, they told me, you know, you can better have lightning on your land than it's better than them. Yes, it's very, it charges the land automatically. So that is what binds us all together. And the slideshow, or what is it, the PowerPoint presentation, like a family album, you could say. And I tried to find as many pictures of us 3. And Vicky Cunningham is actually the great initiator behind getting us together one way or another. And because her very first experience with a crystal skull was at the Mind, Body and Spirit Fair in Sydney in 1995. And who was there? Traveling the world. She had only 2 skulls at the time. Jokey van Deiten. She was there presenting her skulls. And Vicky came there and she was allowed to touch E.T. and then the Jesuit. This is the Jesuit. He was also already there too. She later got a healing from this skull. But something happened. The very first time she ever met and touched a crystal skull, she was like hit by lightning. And she had, in her mind's eyes, she had this flash scene. She saw this flash with something in it. At that time, she did not know what it was yet. Later, about 3 weeks after she had this experience, she was walking in a New Age store in Sydney. Heard in her head, buy me, come on, you buy me. And then that's very funny because when you tell this to people who have never heard of it, they say, what? These things, because you look behind you, somebody's calling me. No, it was a crystal skull that was calling her. And at the time she did not have so much money, but one way or another she had enough money manifested to be able to buy her own crystal skull with the name Edin. But at the time she called them first Scully or in Lakesh, and that means I am another you. And, next slide. It's all about crystals, and skulls are made of crystal, but the humans are made out of crystal actually as well. We have to go we can't go through the skulls to galactic knowledge, galactic wisdom, to be reunited again with our galactic family. Ten years after Vicky had this experience with E.T. from Jokey, she had her own skull at Menachem. She had it photographed, and I don't know if you can see this yellow strip over there. She actually in the beginning even didn't notice it, but then later it started to come to her, and they enlarged it, and that appeared to be language, containing language. She calls it herself light encodings. And you can see it, take a look, or you can show it. And they enlarge it a lot. But it is definitely a language over there. Yeah, that's true. We all need to be clearing for crystal clarity, for all and everything, always and everywhere. To remember and to raise to a higher level of consciousness, to become cosmic, galactic Androgen humans. Androgen means that you're man and woman at the same time, each 50%, you could say. To become crystal humans, to reunite finally again with our galactic family as God-man, all one. This is also a picture of Vicky's skull at Imagine. Another one. And this skull also spoke to her a lot, and he told her that he was originating from Sirius. He had, I say he had, but he still has, but he's not here anymore. He had these big square eyes. It was very nice and funny skull. Lots of skulls have a lot of fun always. But for Vicky, actually, it was not so incredibly funny what he did one day in 2008, because what happened? She took him, like a lot of people who have crystal skulls know, she took him to the ocean in Sydney, in Newport, where near she lives. She took him to the beach, and he said, "Yeah, I want to be with the water." And then what happened? He disappeared. Yeah, he disappeared. So, yeah, she cried for 1 year. But what also happened is, and that is what Hunbot's man also always says, that the crystal skull and the human or the keeper, they are a unity. They are one. I am another you. In Lakesh, that's another name that she gave to her skull. And in fact, Vicky became her own crystal skull now. We are crystalline beings. We are now going from the old-fashioned carbon-based ways, stepping into this higher level of consciousness, of knowing and remembering who we really are, and becoming crystalline beings. It's in our blood. The white blood particles are actually crystals. You could call them crystals. Yay. What is of course very important is that we bring out this message of love, because that's the only thing that is important. If there is no love, there is no thing. This is the ocean where F, like she called him, disappeared. Here you can see him experiencing one more time with incredible Rainier special skull. And this skull taught me the first time I had him in my hands. I just heard him say all the time, "You are a galactic being and you can heal yourself." And that really gave me a lot of power, to be honest. It really encouraged me to not be afraid to catch cold or all these things. Just I can heal myself. What is very important also, and Vicky is really a specialist in this. And here you see just a picture of the ocean, and the other one is her skull near the water somewhere. And she does lots of rituals and ceremonies. Like here, this is a, how do you call this? Oh yeah, labyrinth, and near water, and that is what a lot of people with skulls do also. They do lots of rituals and ceremonies. This is a picture just from our galactic neighbors and friends. And that is also what she has been doing traveling the world and initiating every, let's say, feelings or gates, like they call it, like they also call the 11-11-11 a gateway to open. Actually, everyone can do rituals and ceremonies, and does this also, just by walking your dog, or walk around the place where you live, or go to the beach and look at the water, or play with the sand, find yourself some shells. They do it organized, but I mean to say everybody can do rituals, and that's rituals. Your whole life is a ritual. To be able to recognize and to speak the galactic language of love again for us all. These are all pictures taken in Mexico, Brazil, Palenque, and in a lot of them you can see Humboldt's man who has made this incredible pilgrimage from Manhattan, coming here all the way to the gateway in Los Angeles, the city of angels. And the small picture on the left, where is it? Oh yeah, the right. I have one, a bigger version of it, because suddenly on this Mexican pyramid in Chichen Itza, they found the same kind of light encodings. Can you see it? Yeah, it has the same kind of strip, and Humboldt's man calls them chromatic writings. But that was very peculiar. Here you see again the writings that came through her skull. And just go through it. Yes, no. This is one of the rooms in Damanhur. And that is also, we have a lot of things in common. Jokey, Vicky and me, we have a lot of the same experiences, or we were there without knowing it from each other, and we had a lot of same experiences over there. And Jokey also went to Damanhur with her skulls. At the time she had 6 skulls, and she had these incredible experiences with especially the children, because that's a very big, Damanhur is an underground and community and spiritual, say, where they try to live in an organic and natural way. And they also, one man has made, for example, a machine that he can communicate with plants with. And Jokey had to communicate with plants over there. And she enjoyed a lot how the children, especially the children, reacted on working or being together with the skulls. There was also a little girl, and she just was crying of emotion, of being together with, that was also E.T., with E.T. And then Jokey recognized that often during ceremonies with elders, indigenous people, that many times these shamans, they recognized the skulls, and they came to remember who they are themselves. They remember other lives, and they were really crying of joy, and of course also of all the suffering that we have been going through. But that has to come out as well. So, it is you alone, but you can also say all one. The word alone has a little bit of a negative charge. Or, oh, I'm so alone. All one. Because the fact is, and we cannot lie about this, You simply have to be your soul self and take responsibility. And there is only one who can do that, and that's you yourself. And then we can go from individual consciousness to planetary unity. And we will always be guarded. And then transformation can take place. This is just some what is it, like crop circles, they are important in it. Love is the only thing. But you need perseverance, you need to be able to go on. You also need a lot of courage and strength, of course, and to have faith. Then you can find balance and see the truth. And this is Latin, per non dimenticare. It means to never again forget. Because we forget all the time, or forgot all the time. This time we will never forget it. A lot of the consciousness processes on Earth and in everybody individual can be triggered by the crop circles. Vicky has been living for years in crop circle land near Glastonbury, England. And that was during her time. She was traveling around the world, like Jokey was traveling around the world and showing her skulls everywhere. And sharing the possibility to remember with everyone. This is the Dogon tribe, for example. And ceremonies, coming together, opening up your codes, unlocking the codes. These are also crop circles that formed in a field, Milk Hill in England, and it is also like a language. And there's a phase over there. That is Vicky in a cornfield just a few weeks ago, we could say, in a crop circle, a few months ago. Actually, the very first one who helped Vicky touch and come in connection with Jokey's skulls in '95 in Australia was Joshua Shapiro, because Vicky did not have at that time the $5 to pay to put her hand on ET, and he gave it to her to do that. So I want to honor him in that request for him doing that. Everybody has a place in our togetherness. And this is some old pictures, and one is upside down, of Jokey. I wanted to tell something, because Jokey was the very, very first woman on Earth who was a Ferrari race car driver. She was incredibly... The funny thing is that she's standing here with her skull, ET, and how does she handle it? It's like she was holding her helmet. And I was not really knowing how to make a presentation like this on this picture. I put it upside down. But her life was put upside down also by the racing, which she did for 4 years in the whole of Europe. And in the Netherlands she was several times the national champion. And then she had this incredible accident on the Zandvoort racetrack. That's the most famous track in the Netherlands, because she wanted to avoid crashing with a German competitor. She let him go, and she herself crashed, broke her back, and was half a year in a what is it? Yes. So she she has gone through many, many things in her life and always came up again and went away. Then, this is Jokey speaking about her passions and about the passions in her life, and at home with another friend, because many people have been coming and still to her house. But the last 5 years, it was not able for her, definitely not alone, to go to conferences like this anymore. But sometimes when people call, can we meditate with the skulls? She's always welcome to very heartily, and she makes the best coffee there is in the whole house. And this is when we were there in last year. They would have loved Jokey to come to the 10-10-10 activation in New York City. And Vicky was also trying to do all her best. And then they asked me, because I'm Dutch, please can you go to Jokey and arrange something? And I went to Holland and we spoke about everything, but it was not possible to go then. And I happened to go to New York. And then, in fact, it developed that we met with Jokey, we went together this summer. Vicky came over all to Europe, and she sponsored me also, of course, because I'm just a farmer girl, you could say, to go to Jokey and to talk about it, because these crystal skulls and the crystal humans need to come together. Sometimes some skulls and some crystal humans need to meet. If they don't meet, we can't crack the codes, we can't get our memory back, and then we start forgetting, or we forget it again, and we can't open up. We need to open up. I have now some pictures. This is just from the skulls, Jokey skulls. This is E.T. He comes from Guatemala. And, yeah, do you want to? Okay. Yes, E.T. comes from Guatemala, because I'm taking a lot of time. And he is considered to be really ancient. Nobody, they don't know how he was made. And Mr. F.R. Nick Nocerino, and there is a video film, or there's a DVD even made of that. I think the end of the 90s this was made, but Nick Nocerino, he really researched E.T. and the Jesuit. It's a fantastic documentary. We couldn't find it actually, we couldn't get it. And when we were in July at Jokey's home, Vicky had this video, we showed it to Jokey, and then she said, oh yeah, we must go and share the wisdom and the knowledge of the ancient crystal skulls. We must go, we must go to Los Angeles, and that is also why we are eventually here now. And what's the next one? Oh yeah, that's the Jesuit. He is connected with Franciscus from Assisi, from Italy, who is also the guardian of animals, of oh my goodness. And he comes from Italy. I must go very fast now. This is Oceana. It's from Green Group Burial. And Brazil, he comes from Brazil. I want to go a little bit faster. Okay. This is Shui Ting Air. Amazonite skull from southwest Mongolia, near the Chinese border. This is Mansour. He is lapis lazuli, and he comes from the Amazon rainforest. He was found by a Peruvian Inca tribe, and they gave it to Jokey because they thought they would benefit everyone more than when they would stay with them. This is an interesting skull, Baby Love. He comes from the Ukraine, and it's pretty heavy. Yes. And it is called Baby Love. It was found near a burial place in Lubov, in Ukraine. And the next one is Clouds. It's called Clouds because it's cloudy inside. Yeah, it's more cleared up, yeah. And then we have this peculiar skull over here, Janus. He is very peculiar. He is, I think, yeah. In the year 1225, the king of Illyria people, the man was called Hylas, that means the star. He was killed in battle, and they kept his head in a bucket with charged water, and they brought everywhere where they went to fight, they brought his skull, and they were usually winning. And then one day the skull was hit by lightning, and he fell onto the grass, and together with plants, and you see some incisions there, he was crystallized immediately, and this is what's left of it. It's a famous skull. It became like a crystal skull. And it was also shown on a famous painting in 1700s something. I don't know exactly what date, but it's all in a little booklet Jokey has over there. This is a bonfire. It comes from Bolivia. And the last one is Darth Vader. And Jokey knows that kids, they love it, but you all love it too. But this is the only not extremely old Jokey has. It's a contemporary skull. It was made in 1926 in Ida Oberstein, that's in Germany. And they have a tradition of ages and ages of crystal carving. There are crystal mines over there, and it is said that the skull belonged to Adolf Hitler. He had this incredible interest, of course, for the spiritual and what he could do with these tools. And the nice thing is that this skull is made of rainbow obsidian, and the rainbow obsidian also helps to heal great trauma. So it's a very nice skull to be in the whole group. Yeah. And comes from what? No, Germany. Oh, the stone. Oh yes, the obsidian, the rainbow obsidian comes from Mexico. It was made in Germany. So this is some snapshots, because Jokey was not only the very first woman race car driver, she also was the very first skull keeper who brought her skulls in several places on Earth, in museums, to be seen by as many as possible people. Because that is what she wanted to have them shown everywhere. And most skull keepers don't want to give their skull away for half a year or 3 months or whatever. Jokey did. And this is what more impressions. Oh, that is, yes, no, we have to go with it. So, very nice life we all have. because you need to live your life as, let's say, as honest and as clean as possible. And Yoki is completely also organic in everything she does her whole life. Here, that's us, and we found in my garden 3 tomatoes with noses, so we were the 3 tomatoes. Yeah, we kept them in my pyramid, and they stayed really long, they're still there. Yeah. It's just a small creek we go through. But we need to remember to reunite with our collective family. And all and everything is connected anyway, always and everywhere. Yes.